Hi, this is Dr. O'Hara, and I wanted to go over some constructions with punctuation that are very common for your papers. We're going to start out with the independent clause that is ended with a period, and that seems pretty intuitive. An independent clause is one that can stand alone. It has a subject and a verb. Then the second one we have is two independent clauses together, or two phrases that can stand alone, and we join those with a semicolon. We end the sentence with a period. We have a special construction with the semicolon that has two independent phrases. And when we have these words, therefore, however, nevertheless, consequently, furthermore, etc., then we have a semicolon after the first independent clause. Then we use our conjoining word. Then we have a comma, and then we have the second independent clause and a period at the end of the sentence. If we have two independent clauses, then we can join them with a conjunction such as and, but, for, or, nor, etc. And when we do that, we use a comma to signify that we have two independent clauses. If we have an independent clause and a dependent clause, and we want to join them with a conjunction, we use these conjunctions but no comma. And if you can think of it this way, that the word and, but, for, or takes the place of the comma when we have two phrases where one of them doesn't have a complete sentence or a complete phrase, subject and a verb. Next we have a clause, a phrase, or a word that's not essential to the meaning of the sentence. And then we have an independent clause. Then we set off that non-essential clause, phrase, or word with a comma. And then we end the sentence with a period. Another construction we have is with these words here. And if, since, when, while, although, after, because. And then we have a dependent clause, meaning that it can't stand on its own. And we join that to an independent clause by using a comma. So this dependent phrase here is what we call an introductory phrase, and that gets a comma. The end of the sentence with a period. Next, we have an independent clause and a dependent clause, similar to the conjunctions and, but, or. If we want to use these words here, then there are no punctuation marks in between, and these take the place of the comma, just like the conjunctions do. And the sentence ends with a period. Then we have an independent clause, meaning that it's a complete sentence that could stand on its own. Then we can put a colon here, which takes the place of a period, and then we can put in our elements in a series, A, B, C, D. If we only have two items, we can just have A and B if they're dependent clauses or incomplete phrases. But if they are complete phrases, meaning they're independent clauses, then we would have the independent clause, comma, and the second independent clause. Also, if this beginning clause here is not independent, meaning that it's not a complete sentence, couldn't stand on its own, or it has a preposition or one of the forms of the verb to be, then we don't use a colon here, and then we do have our elements in a series that are enumerated A, B, C, D. These last two examples are with quotes, and with quotes we use a comma before we put in the close quote, and same thing over here, we put in the period before we put in the close quote. If we have two phrases together that are in quotes, then the comma goes inside the quotation mark here, and the period goes inside the quotation mark here. So this is taken from Muriel Harris Teaching 1-to-1.